May I have your CNN attention, please? My name is Carl Azus, and your objective explanation of world events starts right now. It's always good to have you watching. We're starting in the granite state of New Hampshire this Tuesday because this is the day when its voters help choose the candidates who will appear on the ballot in November's U.S. presidential election. New Hampshire holds the second contest in the presidential nomination process. It's a primary, meaning people pick their top candidate with a vote. The first nomination contest was in Iowa, and it was a series of caucuses, meetings where voters grouped up according to their favorite candidates. While incumbent President Donald Trump got more than 97% of the Republican vote over his two challengers, results for the 11 Democrats competing there were less certain. Last Monday, on the night of the Iowa caucuses, there were inconsistencies, mistakes, and problems with the application and the phone line being used to report results. Yesterday, the Iowa Democratic Party said Pete Buttigieg, a former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, held a 0.1% lead in the delegate count over U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, who's from Vermont. But both of their campaigns asked for a recanvassing, a recalculation of some results. Whatever happens in Iowa, the results of today's primaries in New Hampshire will give the winners momentum going into the next contests in the weeks ahead. And you can expect to see some of those who don't win reassess their campaigns and consider leaving the race. 10-second trivia. Which of the following features would you find on a face? Carpus, oxter, thrapple, or philtrum? The philtrum is the indentation or groove between your nose and your upper lip. Clearview AI is a controversial startup company that says it's collected more than 3 billion pictures from the internet. If your face has ever appeared on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, even if the account was deleted afterward, it's possible Clearview AI still has that picture in its database. Critics call this an invasion of privacy. Some law enforcement agencies call it an effective tool in solving or preventing crime.
Wow.
Is that you?
That photo is me.
Doesn't look like you. That's when you were younger?
That's my face, a photo I haven't seen in years, found in seconds by the facial recognition app Clearview AI.
So it works, right?
This New York Times investigation woke us all up. The realization, privacy may be a thing of the past. And that's because of this guy, Wonton Tat, the creator of Clearview AI.
Well, quite simply, Clearview is basically a search engine for faces.
Think about the photos you've posted online, or photos that others have posted of you. There's a good chance he's collected them. His app has scraped billions of images from sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Google to use in a facial recognition system. He claims more than 600 law enforcement agencies in the US and Canada are using it, though it's unclear how many have actually paid for it.
So that's the photo of you.
So this is a photo of me from CNN.com. Wow. We're starting to see pictures of me that are not from that original image. This is from Medium.
Tech giants aren't happy about this. They say it violates their terms of service and have sent cease and desist letters.
LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. So this photograph is from my local newspaper. This AI technology is looking at what? It's looking at
the unique features, so it learns to ignore things a little bit like the beard and focus on the features that stay the same across different age.
Do you understand why people find this creepy?
I can understand people having concerns around privacy. So the first part to remember, it's only publicly available information. We're not just making technology for its own sake. The reason and the purpose we found is to really help law enforcement solve crime.
I was deeply disturbed. I was concerned about how Clearview had amassed its database of images. I was concerned about its data privacy, and I was concerned that it was tracking law enforcement searches.
Clearview clearly claims that it works.
In these sting operations that we do, so we know that the person has committed a crime. We know that they're coming to the undercover location where law enforcement will arrest them. What we don't know is who is this person. But what we do have is a picture that they've sent to the undercover. And so the Clearview app was used to get the name of the individual coming to the undercover location. We wanted to find out, well, does this person have firearms? Do they have a violent history? That's how that tool was used in that particular case. It wasn't used to develop the probable cause to arrest that person. It was used for law enforcement safety purposes.
Are you concerned about taking a tool as powerful as that out of the hands of law enforcement?
I'm not categorically opposed to the use of facial recognition technology. A facial recognition tool can be used properly if we understand how the database is created.
Whether or not facial recognition is a very effective tool for criminal investigation, we can think of that question as a little bit beside the point. The question is, what do we want police to be able to know about us, considering most of us really haven't done anything that warrants our information being in law enforcement databases.
So I'm going to ask my producer, Risha, to also run her face through this. Okay.
Do you have much social media?
I'm out there.
Let's see. So, you never had a demo fail. Let's see.
You've never had a demo fail?
So far.
Oh God. Wait, this is Instagram. I'm private on Instagram. Oh, that's someone else's Instagram.
So yeah, it's
But
only
wait, go
publicly
back.
available.
But that's mine too.
You were public for a while?
I was public at one point and then I went private.
So you know those can.
So if I go public, and that's my Instagram too, and I'm private now, but I was public at one point.
If an image is publicly available, Clearview's technology is capable of grabbing it. It doesn't matter if you delete it later or change the privacy settings. It doesn't even matter if somebody posted it without your knowledge or permission.
My dad doesn't have a Facebook account, but I've put photos of my dad up online. Is your view that by him consenting to get a photo taken, he has inadvertently consented to being in your database?
Did you post it publicly?
Yes.
Yeah. And did you say, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to put this on"? the
No,
internet?
probably not.
Oh, interesting. So, but you know.
So that's
in our
on me
view,
then.
Yeah. And it was also our view that it's for this use case. Say, not your dad, but someone else was in the background of that photo, and that could lead to solving a crime. And it's a good thing.
Clearview claims its app is 99% accurate, a claim that CNN hasn't verified.
What if it identifies the wrong person and that leads to a wrongful conviction? Are you worried about that?
Yeah, we don't want that to happen at all. And so that's why the way it's currently used in all the law enforcement agencies around the US is to make sure it's just a lead.
I haven't spoken with any law enforcement agencies who think that facial recognition IDs should be used as evidence in court. They're just interested in using it as an investigative tool, which I think also mitigates a little bit of the community concern.
We need to have guidelines in place for law enforcement officers. Who's authorized to use this tool? Are they trained on it? And then when they get those results, are they trained then to know that it's only a lead?
So you think this is an area that should be regulated?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think regulation's a bad thing, and we want to work with the government to create something that is safe.
I would imagine you must be preparing for some cases that will be landmark cases that set a precedent in this area.
Yeah, I think that it's a very...
You're going to have a lot of days in court.
Are
you prepared for that?
Sure, yeah. I don't think there'll be that many, but you know.
From Upper New York Bay to Lake Mendota, Lady Liberty's been on the move. She also sank down a bit into the waves, but this isn't really the statue, it's an inflatable replica of it, and this is part of a University of Wisconsin prank dating back to 1979. At that time, 2 student association candidates promised to deliver wackiness if they were reelected. They were, and the statue in the lake has been an on and off tradition ever since. That cost the students $4,000. Where'd they get it? They're not at liberty to say. But they ought to be put on a pedestal for carrying a torch for pranks, because that one's got to be the jewel in their crown, a completely lakeable inflatable that shows there's no statute of limitations when you combine liberty and imagination. Today's show goes out to Lancaster Catholic High School, the Crusaders of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. For anyone who wants insider information on how you can get picked, we'll be posting tips this week on our official YouTube channel, but only for our subscribers.